wow, this is cool. Hey, Pete, how can we get more business? We got to make some more money.
Yep. What's up, junkies? Welcome back to another episode of the RE Junkies podcast. We're here for a bonus episode today with Vinny Giglio. Vinny shared with us in his main episode about his commercial and his development current business, as well as all the tough times that led to that and the thousands of deals that also led to that. Now, Vinny has agreed to stay for a bonus episode. So for those of you that listen regularly, you know what's coming. Vinny, we're going to give you 3 prompts. You pick one, and then we're going to dive into a specific deal. So your options are, number 1, what is your craziest real estate story? Or number 2, what is your most successful deal? Or number 3, what was your hardest deal or a horror story? Which one are you picking?
Can I give you a deal that encompasses all 3 of those?
Yes. Yes. This will be a first. Let's hear it.
Perfect. And if you listen to last episode, you know my background's in commercial real estate finance. And what I do now is large commercial real estate development, mixed use and multifamily. And I'm not going to tell you a story that has to do with either of those.
All right. I love it.
After the crash, the last crash was about, I think it was 2012. We came out of the crash, and if you listen to the last episode, I was pounding phones and staying in front of my customers while banks weren't lending. And I had a couple years where everyone started doing business with me because I was the one that stayed in front of them. And we had a couple good years. And it was the first time in my life I actually had a little money saved up. And so I'm sitting in my office one day in Southern California in Redondo Beach, and one of my favorite customers walks in, and he has a big multifamily and single family portfolio. And remind you, this was right after the crash. Values everywhere were just knocked down and dragged out, especially in markets like Las Vegas and similar, where they're more transient markets. So he walks in, my desk is facing the wall. He's on my left side. He looks at me, he goes, "Hey," he didn't even say he was here. He's just like, "Hey, you got any money in the bank?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saved up about 50 grand recently." He's like, "Good. Here's my agent's number in Las Vegas. You're going to call her and you're going to buy your first condo." Granted, I had done all these deals in, multifamily finance. I'd never owned one of my own property before. And my family has never owned a property before. We've rented all our lives. So to me, I'm like, "Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to do this." So he left about 20 minutes later, and I picked up the phone and I called Jody. And I said, "Hey, Brian told me to call you, and I guess I'm supposed to buy my first condo. Can you send me some deals to look at?" So she sent me like 25 deals. And between it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And the next morning when I left to drive to Las Vegas to look at properties, I had underwritten and looked at 25 deals. And literally that quick, drove to Las Vegas the next day, met with Jody, walked 13 properties, made 13 offers, 1 got accepted. And I'm scared and excited and nervous all at the same time. It's not in my backyard. It's a 5-hour drive to Las Vegas. So I'm also doing that, which, what am I thinking, right? But it's what I could afford. 50 grand, yeah. Even a downturn couldn't get me anything in LA. So no. What the heck? So I bought this condo. It was in the town of Summerlin, which is west of Las Vegas near the mountains. There's a little casino out there. Knew nothing about it, but it seemed okay. It was in pretty rough shape. But what I liked about it was it last sold for $250,000, and I had it under contract for 45 grand. And I had 50 grand in the bank. So I was like, this is perfect, right? I'm going to spend all my money. I don't know where I'm going to eat next, but I'm going to spend all my money on this condo. So we closed on the condo.
Perfect. I'm going to spend all my money.
That's literally what I did. And after closing costs, I think I had a couple grand left. And granted, I'm drowning in debt at the time. I have like 100,000 in student loans and a car loan and all this stuff. And, I'm pretty payment heavy, but I was like, I'm going to take the risk. So closed on this condo. Day after I closed, I dropped everything. I drove out to Las Vegas and went inside, and I was like, how the heck am I going to fix this place up? I have no money to pay anybody. Right. So I pulled out this little thing that I had in my pocket, and I started watching YouTube on how to change a change a garbage disposal, how to replace carpet. I knew how to paint because my dad at one point, before he got real sick, was a painting contractor. So he taught me that, luckily. So I did that. But everything else I learned from this stupid computer that we carry around everywhere in our pockets. And I think parts alone cost me the rest of my money. And within a few weeks of finishing that, I had rented it for $850 a month. And then I got addicted.
Wow.
I was like, wow, this is cool. I could, hey, Pete, how can we get more business? We got to make some more money.
Yeah. Where's my next 50K coming from?
Right.
So how long did you own that unit?
I owned it for 1 year. And when I went to sell it, and obviously I had experience with buyers and sellers, and I've done a lot of transactions. So one of the things I had put down as a seller in listing, or when I got my first offer in, was as is, where is, how is. And it was, and I was very specific. I'm not making any repairs, doing nothing, right? You're buying this condo. And so the first buyer came in, and I had grown a backbone by that time in my career. So first buyer came in under contract, agreed to all the terms, got about 3 weeks into the deal, and I get a list of repairs a mile long. And by the way, I had it under contract for $90,000, which was twice what I paid.
Yep.
And mile long. I called Jody and I said, don't even counter it, just kick them out. And she's like, what? I'm like, I put in writing, and they signed it, saying that they were not going to request repairs. It was as is, how is, where is. And I said, they have no integrity. I don't want to do business with them. And
what didn't you understand about that?
What's that?
I said, what didn't they understand about that?
Exactly. And I actually liked less that they didn't have any integrity. And I said, just plenty of buyers. Go and find another one. So another buyer came in. Same thing happened. Kicked them out. Finally, the third buyer, she was going to live there, and she sent me a list of repairs, and I said the same thing, and she goes, fine, I'll take it. And she ended up closing. So
and that one was under contract for $90,000 too.
Yeah. So I sold it for $90,000, and then I flipped it into, I had since in the year's time found any way to get money I could. I even went to friends and family and was like, I've got a system. I have all these properties. I had another one under contract. Give me $5,000 a piece. I'll just, and no one would give me money. And if you listen to my last episode, I hadn't raised $1 until 5 years ago. Now, I'm going to be close to $250 million, and no one would give me money. And so I found any way I could, whether it was making more money, and I bought a couple other properties and exchanged those into a couple, deals in LA. And anyway, long story short, that was my first ever deal, my hardest, my craziest, and all the things you mentioned, if you can take that out of what I told you.
I love it. Vinny, I also love your own, your podcast host skills, because I was literally just about to plug your last episode with a few things you just said there about raising money and using integrity and why that's so important to you, and how you raised, $250 million now for different projects. And here you were just plugging your own episode. So if you're listening, my job's done. I'm just here asking questions. So go listen to Vinny's full episode, because it was awesome.
Thank you.
Great.
You might get a thing or two out of
it. So looking back now, you got that 30,000 foot view. What are some things that you would have done differently in that first deal, or if anything?
Pressured the people that I asked for money to give me money more harder. Look,
close the deal.
When you find something that works, you go all in. Go all in. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take the risk and go for it. If you want to get more deal specific, I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure how I could have done much differently in that specific deal, because I feel like I fell on my head. I took the risk. I came up with all the problems. The escrow went pretty smooth though, because I didn't have a bank involved.
Sure.
There you go. That's what I would have done differently. I probably would have leveraged the deal, because then I would have been able to buy 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Good call.
Yep.
Good call. Yeah.
And don't be afraid of higher interest rates. It's just going to mean you're going to buy a property for less than what it'll be worth in the future.
Exactly. That's what I've been telling people.
In most cases.
By the way, it's really funny. And Kate, and I promise this sounds like a soapbox. I promise to keep it short. Okay. It's really funny that we finally entered a buying season for real estate, and all of a sudden all these real estate investors stopped fucking buying. And I'm like, where'd you go? Because right now is the perfect time. I mean, if history shows us anything, right now is a great time to be buying. And they're like, oh, it's too risky right now, so we're gonna pack our toys and go home.
So a couple things along that. The bigger guys are waiting for blood.
Yes.
Are we going to get blood in this one? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I think market specific, yes, we will see some blood, especially in bigger markets like LA, New York. I don't know why anyone's still buying in those markets, to be honest, but they are.
Phoenix is looking like there's going to be some blood too.
You think so? I think
it's looking like it, at least from what I've seen. But
no, and I don't know.
Market, so I'm from the outside looking in.
It could be. I think also they're waiting for this next election to see what happens. I've been through this year after year after year after year when it comes to doing deals in the in the finance side. It always slows down around election time because the country could take a shift. But you are absolutely right at the same time. Why are you not buying deals right now? You should be buying deals right now. We're still buying deals right now. Now, am I taking
mom and pops?
Yes, mom and pops.
The smaller investors.
And it should be in market. It should be in good markets. Charlotte, for example, you are going to win. If you buy right now, mom and pops, you're going to win.
Yeah.
On pretty much anything.
Yeah.
It's in its
I can't tell you how many coaching students I have that for the past 3 to 4 years, they've been like, finding a deal is so hard. I just wish it was just a little bit easier for us to find a deal like that was profitable. And I'm like, hello, now's your time. And they're like, we just don't know about the risk. It's just too much. I'm sorry.
That's because they're a little naive and a little inexperienced in thinking that they're going to find a deal that's almost going to be given to them. They can just make $1 million on it their first deal. It's not how it works. You can't set that expectation. That's so unrealistic. Get off social media. Stop watching these people. Jesus.
What are you talking about? TikTok told me that the deals are going to fall in my lap and I'll make $50,000 a wholesale deal without doing any work and knowing anything about how to sign a contract.
Crazy.
Vinny, we're gonna have you back for a happy hour where we can just have a few beverages on this Zoom, and we can just jump on some soapboxes with Kate.
I love that. And I had a lot of soapboxes. Some of them your audience might not like, but I know that they're true.
This is why this has been one of the best episodes, is because we could go all day.
We can go all day. There's a lot of people not living in reality these days. So, especially in the real estate business, because it's been so good for so long too. So,
yes.
But there's opportunities in every market. It doesn't matter if it's peaking, if it's crashing, there's always money to be made. There's always deals to be done. But most importantly, there's always relationships to be made.
Always. And you never know if it's today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, they could be writing you a check for a couple $100,000 or a couple million for a deal, or they could be bringing you a deal that they know you know how to do for a couple $100,000 or a couple $1 million in profit. I mean, you never know.
You just nailed that. By the way, the more integrity you have, the more relationships you build, the more opportunities that present themselves in the long term.
Oh yeah.
You didn't even know would even come your way. Yep. So you just nailed that. Good short soap. That was a nice short soapbox though.
Short.
That was a
Good
short
job, Brooks.
Katen's gonna be proud of me. She's like, just wrap it up, Brooks. I'm done. I'm listening to you for the day. All right. Well, Vinny, like I said, we will have you back, and I cannot wait to get to Charlotte the next time because we will definitely connect, and we will definitely meet each other in person. This has been a ton of fun. And thank you guys all for listening. For those of you, we kind of mentioned it a few times. Vinny, thank you for plugging your own episode. Vinny's episode, his main episode, was awesome and full of value. The way you broke things down, man, I will never get over that, how simple you made things, and that is awesome. So thank you again, Vinny. Thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you junkies next time on the only podcast of its kind.